As far as the currency devaluations, I've been complaining about that for a long time. And I believe that we will all eventually, and probably very much sooner than a lot of people understand or think, we will be all at a level playing field. Because that's the only way it's fair. That's the only way that you can fairly compete.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right. Yeah, we've heard this many a time. A level playing field when it comes to currency. A level playing field when it comes to trade. A level playing field when it comes to just about everything. I'd often wonder just how far along we'd have been if Trump would have did back-to-back terms. I know our countries, not just ours, but other countries too, would be so much further along, so much better than we are right now. It's terrible where we are. But Biden has sent over the Assistant Secretary of Treasury to talk with Iraq. Something was brought up. It made me remember when Trump was talking about a level playing field when it came to currencies. So let's go over this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. Carrying the message from the Prime Minister, the Sudanese movement meets the leaders of the Democratic Party in Erbil. Yes, we have elections coming up. And you can see already people are jockeying for position. So the delegation of the Faratan movement, led by the Prime Minister al-Sudani, visited Erbil, the capital of the Kurdistan region, and met with the leaders from the Kurdistan Democratic Party. The delegation was headed by Deputy Secretary General of the movement, Saadi, as well as other members that were there attending. Al-Sadi stressed the visit came within the framework of the Euphrates movement's approach to strengthening relations with the national political forces, and a delegation brought the greetings of the Secretary General of the Euphrates movement, Prime Minister al-Sudani, to our people in the Kurdistan region of Iraq and its political leaders. Gosh, all these weird movements. Every time we get an election gets going, you'll hear about one type of movement or another. He stated that the discussions between the two parties dealt with the general and political conditions and the requirements for building the state in a way that guarantees the rights of its citizens and the exchange of ideas and visions to find ways out of the crisis in order to clear them to move towards development and raise the level of services provided to the citizens throughout the country. Al-Sadi pointed out that the visiting Faratan delegation aims to leave the term outstanding problems between the center and the region in confirmation of the Prime Minister's vision regarding that. The statement stated that, for their part, the leaders of the Kurdistan Democratic Party conveyed their greetings to the Secretary General of the Al-Faratan movement, the Prime Minister wishing him progress in his work and the implementation of his governmental approach. So al-Sudani's government has handled suspicious trade and reduced money laundering. So the Prime Minister al-Sudani confirmed on Wednesday that the government has handled suspicious trade and limited corruption and money laundering. The Sudanis received the Assistant Secretary of the Treasurer, Elizabeth Rosenberg, and her accompanying delegation to discuss the joint cooperation between the financial institutions in Iraq and the U.S. Treasury Department, and discuss the government's measures in implementing financial and banking reforms to reduce corruption in all its forms. The Prime Minister's Information Office said in a statement received by the news. Al-Sudini pointed out, according to the statement, the government's implementation of its priorities and reform of the banking sector, which is a basic base for the development of the economy, by adopting international standards and addressing the distortions and imbalances that accompanied its work in keeping pace with developments, stressing that these reforms have contributed and significantly to reducing money laundering operations, as well as addressing suspicious trade and reducing corruption, stressing that the government has made great strides in implementing its reforms in financial institutions in the public and private sector, which is a big need by Iraq for both the public and the private. For her part, Rosenberg praised the great steps taken by the government in the field of financial and banking reforms, which will help Iraq to advance its economy and strengthen its programs and plans in the field of sustainable development. But it's not just that. These reforms need implemented if they want to successfully be accepted by the World Trade Organization. Washington appreciates the efforts and steps of the Central Bank of Iraq to contract with international audit companies. So the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Alak, discussed with the assistance of the U.S. Treasury Secretary Elizabeth Rosenberg today, Wednesday, the possibility of providing technical support in the field of financing foreign trades through sober banking channels, while Rosenberg praised the efforts and steps of the Central Bank of Iraq to contract with international audit companies. So during their meeting, they discussed bilateral relations and discussed the measures taken by the Central Bank of Iraq in the fields of combating money laundering and terrorist financing, as well as confirming the continued support provided by the U.S. Treasury and joint efforts to enhance transparency and integrity and the application of the international compliance instructions in the Iraqi banking system. He added that the two parties discussed following up the outputs and results of the previous meetings between the Central Bank of Iraq on the one hand and the U.S. Treasury and the U.S. Federal Bank on the other, as well as possibility of providing technical support in the field of financing and foreign trade through sober banking channels with mechanisms that enable the financing of legitimate foreign trade in different currencies, including the euro, the Chinese yuan, and the UAE dirham, as well as regulating the movement of trade with the Republic of Turkey. So I find it very interesting that Mrs. Rosenberg is over there and they're having discussions about doing trade in more than just the US dollar, the euro, the Chinese yuan, and the dirham. Now, Trump talked about all the currencies should be on a level playing field as far as their exchange rates are concerned. No manipulating the currencies. Everybody should be on a level playing field. This makes trade fair for everybody. And this is something that he was in the process of doing. And although this might sound far-fetched, I'm really wondering if Joe Biden is trying to complete what it is that Trump was starting over there, as far as allowing other currencies to be used for trade. I know that's unheard of because we want to be the greedy Gretchens and be the official reserve dollar. But this discussion has been going on for some time. Sure, we lose our purchasing power. Yes, it sucks for the American citizens. But the fact that Trump said we should be on a level playing field as far as currencies are concerned, now you have the Biden administration over there talking to them about allowing the euro, the yuan, and the dirham to be used for trade. I find that very, very, very interesting. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think, man. Are they trying to make an equal playing field for everybody? Do you think that's what the discussions are about? I look forward to hearing from you. That's it for now. I'm out.